come August the 5th, I want you to know why you should vote for Joel Haashiim. I know you may not know me. A lot of people say, well, we don't know him well. That's because I've always been in the background. And only when I decided to run for mayor, after Mayor Coleman Young, we've seen nothing but decline throughout our communities in the city of Detroit. And I looked at somebody has to stand up for the people, for the community. Someone has to empower our community. Every mayor that we have had since Coleman Young, the great Coleman Young, our community have went down. One thing that Coleman Young did that was very important for the community, the 80% black population in Detroit, was he started procurement programs and inclusion. And that is very important in our community. If we don't have equal opportunity with city contracts, with opportunities in our city, we begin to see a decline in our city in the business sector. So, as mayor, you may say, well, we don't know him. However, look at every mayor that we have had and city council members since Mayor Coleman Young. What did they do for our community? Our community is still in decline. Our black businesses are not empowered. Yes, I understand we have money, but we don't have economic empowerment. We have votes, but we don't have political empowerment. We have education. As individuals, yes, but as a community, as a people, we're not empowered educationally. You may say, well, who is this Joel Haashiim? I grew up on the east side of Detroit. I'm the son of Reverend Grace Gray and Charles Gray. And I've grown up in the Kettering area. So I'm a legacy Detroiter. Also, I'm a legend Detroiter, meaning I opened up doors that no one else had opened up. At 20 years old, I started my first business and ended up having 3 more stores. I sold those stores to someone who was from the community, and I started wholesaling to all the party stores and different businesses in the city. At that time, I started to start selling to chain stores, Spartan Chain, Kmart's, Winn-Dixie's, Pier 1's, just so many chain stores. And that started me to travel in the world, to put products on the shelves of those retailers. I ended up doing what we call trade delegations / business delegations. I did 15 of those, 3 of them for Wayne County, 2 to China, and the largest one out of the Michigan was going to Qatar and the gateway to the Middle East. We took 34 large corporations there, including GM, Comerica Bank, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and 31 other companies. So basically, I've been here supporting a lot of candidates behind the scenes. I was not trying to be up front. I am a businessman. I'm not a career politician. I'm not a career government worker. So what is it that Joel Haashiim thinks he can do for the city of Detroit? Well, Detroit needs a diverse economy. Detroit is an international city. However, it has no international businesses. Detroit needs housing. I spent some 23 years in building concepts, buildings and homes. And so I understand the building industry. I understand how to build mass production of homes. And I am the only candidate that have spoke about how we will bring revenue into our city treasury. To start with, I would love to start a municipal manufacturing facility for housing. Why? Well, they say Detroit is approximately 1/3 vacant land. Approximately 40 to 48 miles of open land for real estate development. Well, let's look at how much money that is. City of Boston is about 48 miles, and it has a real estate appraisal of approximately $270 billion. So we're looking here at Detroit. We know we need 400,000 to 450,000 people to get at that 1.2 million people. It's very important that we bring back the population in the city of Detroit. So housing is a big part of that, whether it's rental housing or single family homes. We need to bring families back into Detroit. So how will I do that? Well, first and foremost, the city can partner with the latest innovative companies that utilize quality materials that will also be less for us to build these homes. Give you an idea, 10,000 homes right today, 1,200 square feet, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It'll cost you somewhere around $1 billion to $1.5 billion. And yet that's just a drop in the bucket, as they say. We need mass production of quality homes and mass production of rental property. And we need housing for the homeless. We need housing for families that lost their homes or sleeping in their vehicles, winter and summer. We need to set up programs for that. And you can't set up programs if you don't have the money. Let's put it in simple terms. So by us starting our manufacturing of homes here in the city of Detroit, here's an opportunity now for us to produce 10,000 jobs for city residents. We can train them and have them in motion within 1 year. Some of those jobs within 6 months. We have a lot of vacant factories in the city of Detroit. And so we can take those buildings and modify them for mass production of housing. At the same time, we're seeding our community billions of dollars. How so? Well, our residents who are real estate sales, contractors, builders, real estate developers, handymen, all of them will partake of those billions of dollars that's infused into our community. So we'll have more for you in just a little bit. Stay with me. We're going to go further into this so we understand what we're dealing with. I'm Joel Haashiim, running for mayor of Detroit. I will empower our community economically, educationally, and politically by building a diverse economy that will put money into our community. I have over 50 years domestic and international business experience. Detroit is a corporation that requires a leader with business solutions. We the people deserve to sit at the table of prosperity. Vote for me, joelhformayor.com.
Paid for by the Joel Haashiim campaign.
Make sure that we understood, for Conscious Minds in Detroit, the opportunity that we have. It's a one-time opportunity for us to put billions of dollars into our community. A lot of this land that's available was gentrified land. People from our community were gentrified, forced to leave. Some may have left for other reasons, but there were a number of indications that show that we have to do better. If we don't change right now and make the right decisions, we're going to watch other people from other places come into our city. They're going to be outside developers, and they're going to get the bulk of the contracts, and they're going to make the bulk of the money. And our community leaders will be protesting or advocating for opportunity. Well, we don't have to do that. We need to think a little more progressive. The opportunity is there for us to put billions of dollars in our community through the housing industry. The auto plants is the main seed for our economy. Because of the auto plants and a few service companies, they pretty much are in control of Detroit's local economy. If they should go down, it will affect everything in our community. Our quality of life will go down. And so we have an opportunity to do something about that, people. And so basically what we want to do is make sure that we understand this housing, municipal manufacturing facilities in Detroit and how important it is to our community. Now, if we sleep on this, somebody else is going to make the money because the land is already there. We need a mayor that's going to bring about inclusion, procurement programs to help to seed our economy. So this is so important, and that's why I've spent the time on it. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to see this opportunity. We also have to note national economies downsizing. A lot of corporations are downsizing or filing for bankruptcy. All of this is going to negatively impact our community. The cuts that we see in education coming, the cuts that we see in other areas to the states is eventually going to reduce Detroit's money that they receive from the states. So we need a mayor that has the capability to bring in a diverse economy. And for all of you who say, well, all I have to do is start a business and I'm fine. Well, it doesn't work that way. As a community, as a people, we need a foundation. Someone has to lay that foundation for us to have economic empowerment. Right now, we just have a lot of businesses. A lot of those new businesses won't last 5 years. They don't have resources. So let's start with housing. Here we have an opportunity to benefit from the development of housing in the city of Detroit. We have a one-time opportunity because if we vote wrong, now we're going to watch other people rebuilding these communities, these neighborhoods, and we're going to get the crumbs off the table. We should be tired of being bottom feeders. We need to, get our share of the pie. So here's the opportunity. As mayor, I will bring about inclusion. I will help to build a diverse economy. Another thing that's very important is I'm also one who has experience and a skill set to bring in international companies and domestic companies into Detroit. At the same time, I'm running for mayor because no one else is sharing what I'm sharing. No one else is bringing this type of opportunity to the community. And we need this community. You know, we need healing. We have a broken spirit here in Detroit. You know, what do I want to do? You know, it's basically 4 pillars. We want to protect and provide for our seniors, strengthen and support our men, uplift and unite our women, educate and empower our youth. That's something that has not been done here in the city of Detroit. I want to call for a forensic audit as mayor. The first 30 days, I'm going to call for Detroit's assets to be returned, starting with our water department. Our water department was taken wrongfully. It's grossing $1 billion a year. They only give Detroit $30 million. Detroit is paid for all the infrastructure of all the communities that have Detroit water. Yet there are other communities in this area, municipalities, that have a lesser or cheaper water bill than the city of Detroit. That doesn't make sense. We're calling for 21st century common sense leadership, people. We're going to have a leader that's brave enough, courageous enough, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, making the people the priority, the communities the priority. If we don't have that strong leader, it won't matter how well you know them, especially those that have taken their bulk of their contributions for their campaign from the corporations and the rich. You can't serve 2 masters. Who are they going to serve? You may know them, but remember, all that glitters is not gold. We must understand that we're in a war. The war is economic. The war is educational. The war is political. Our community's population is continually being gentrified here in the city of Detroit. Gentrification is like it's like a bullet with no name on it. You may think you're okay today, but tomorrow it may, if it don't get you, it may get your children and your grandchildren. So I want to make sure our children have a future in this city. I want to make sure that we address some of the core issues. And the core issues are pretty much, we have so many of them here in the city of Detroit. I only spent this time on housing and the importance of building a diverse economy here in Detroit. I don't care how good someone's platform sounds. Whether you know them or don't know them, you need to ask the question, where is the money coming from? If the money's not coming from the federal government, and if it's not coming from the state government, then where is the money going to come from? That's why this election is so important right now. Right now, this is the most important election in Detroit's history since the black community and brown community have been the majority. If we vote wrong this time, we will pay the price of a sagging economy. We'll be watching other outside developers coming in. We will lose the opportunity to put billions of dollars in our own community. We will lose the opportunity to put billions of dollars in our city treasury. In our city treasury, by growing our city budget and improving our financial status, our credit rating with Moody and et cetera, we will be able to address so many of the problems we have in Detroit, starting with poverty. We can make the Detroit city retirees whole because we have money. We can negotiate a better contract for our city employees. We can address universal basic income to make sure that we're moving those families that are in poverty, especially where there's children. We can make sure that we start that program. That's something that I want to do for the residents in the city of Detroit. We have to change the culture in the city of Detroit. In order to do that, those programs we have for returning citizens, they have to work. We have to make sure we put those resources there. For people who are suffering from addiction, we have to make sure we have the money. Ask your candidates, what is your plan to bring money into the city of Detroit? That will be a very intelligent question. How are you going to bring in international companies? How are you going to convince companies to come from domestic areas in the country to Detroit? We've got to fix the transit system here. I have a plan for mass transit, starting with the airport to downtown Detroit. We need to bring in rail. If we don't have these opportunities, people, if no one can tell you how they're going to diversify our economy, how they're going to create those jobs. I heard somebody say they're going to create, a whole lot of jobs. I said 10,000. So ask them, how are you going to do it when they're in your community or when you're at these different events? This is the most important question. How are you going to do it? Where are you going to get the money? We need to build up our infrastructure. A good portion of our city's infrastructure is not working. And that's why I want to fight utilizing our law department to take Detroit's water back. We have fine legal minds that have taken a look at this. We have looked at this lease between Great Lakes Water Authority and the city of Detroit. We need to take our water back, people, and all of our city assets. I'm the only candidate. Well, there may be some others now, but I was the first candidate sharing I will fight and utilize our law department to take back Detroit city assets, even if we have to go to the Supreme Court. That's $1 billion. How much more would that help our city with all the programs that we need to bring in if we had that $1 billion in Detroit City Treasury? People, wake up. We're asleep. We're going for the okie doke. Smooth talking, smooth operator, career politicians, career candidates, career government workers. You know, we have to determine what is best to grow our city. We need to improve our police department. Safety is a big issue. We need to bring population back in. Population's not coming here if it's not safe. Companies don't want to come here if it's not safe. I will advocate and bring about a new crime lab for City of Detroit's police department. We need to solve crimes in this city. People need to know and understand that if they do the crime, they're going to do the time. They're going to be caught. We need to upgrade our police department to make sure we solve these homicides and some of these terrible crimes that we have in our city. Let's put those resources in our community where they belong. If we don't do that, things will continue the way that they are. Thank you, and stay tuned for part 2 of this message to the voters of the city of Detroit. If you haven't voted yet, consider Joel Haashiim. Go to JOELH4mayor.com. That's JOELH4mayor.com. And there's a phone number there. There's an email there. Reach out to me. If you want to donate, donate. If you want someone to serve you, you've got to work too. This is not a one-man show. This is the people waking up and understanding we need change in Detroit. Thank you for watching. And tomorrow we'll have part 2. Thank you so much.
I'm Joel Haashiim, running for mayor of Detroit. I will empower our community economically, educationally, and politically by building a diverse economy that will put money into our community. I have over 50 years domestic and international business experience. Detroit is a corporation that requires a leader with business solutions. We the people deserve to sit at the table of prosperity. Vote for me, JoelH4Mayor.com.
Paid for by the Joel Haashiim Campaign.